Hey everyone, welcome back to another Elden Ring video. Today I'm going to be testing out some different things that my comment section said last time. So you can see here that one thing that I didn't realize, because I'm kind of a beginner to it, is that the fact that my entire armor set was like a heavy load previously. And so I would be doing these like dodge rolls, and they were slowed down, and they were slowed down, and they were very slow. And so that caused me to die a lot quicker. So here we're kind of just gonna put on some different stuff. I have some different outfits. We'll put on kind of what I'd like to call like the little peasant guy outfit. And now it doesn't really look that great with this helmet, of course, but I don't mind considering this is what we're kind of going for, just a lighter build. So you see instantly there, I can do these dodge rolls that are very, very, very fast compared to the one I was doing before. And so we'll test it out on these little sorcerers here after I get this rune. So basically it was pretty crazy to me that there were some mechanics. And now I know people who know the Dark Souls games or the Souls games in general know these mechanics, but as a newer player, these things were more I guess hidden to me. Like I knew that there was a situation with your load out and like your, as far as like the weight of your body and specifically like different attributes that you needed for things like that. And so I knew those were different things, but of course I didn't know that the armor itself contributed to whether you were able to do certain moves or not, how easy they were, how easy they aren't. I think it's kind of cool. And I mean, as one of my comments were saying, it's, you know, if you've played one of the Souls games, it's kind of just like a copy-pasted thing from other games, allegedly. But I still think it's very cool to have all these mechanics that if you're not focused directly on them, then you could miss them and it'll really screw you over. Because like I was absolutely just like dodge. So okay, let me put it into perspective. When I first started playing, I fought I fought Godric and I fought the first boss. I can't even remember his name. He's forgetful kind of. Margit the Fell Omen, right. So I fought both of them with full heavy armor on. And so those dodge rolls, so much slower. It was so much harder to fight. And I even kind of chickened out with Godric. I used a bow, and normally I wouldn't do that because I do like a melee build. But eventually I started doing my my bow a little bit for Godric just to cheat around because Margit gave me such a hard time. But yeah, so I'm kind of testing it out here just to see really how much this mechanic helps me whenever I tend to it, you know? And so there was also, I was going to mention, there's also another comment I got talking about how often I use my shield and how that really is not forgiving if you're using it a bunch. And so I use it a bit here, which I don't really need to because there's not much this guy can do that relates to a shield. He can try and run you over, but for the most part it's going to be fire attacks. But using the shield itself, it is a good mechanic. You just have to know when to use it and not overuse it because that also drains stamina a lot. And now that I've gotten into the level 40, 41, 42 area, it's a lot harder for me to level up because I can't really get runes as easily. So I think spending all my points into my, my strength, into some of my health was a good choice, but I do think that I should have put it more into some of my stamina, just a little bit, because now it's a lot harder for me to get those points and to upgrade. And I'm sure, as I continue to go to these more difficult areas, I'll get more runes and leveling up will become a little easier. But at the moment, there's not really many runes to be had. As you can see, I only have see that one guy only gave me like 100 and I have like 2,000. And so I believe it takes like almost 20k runes for me to level up right now. solely on what level I am. And so that it's kind of, I guess it makes sense that the game would like slow down your leveling up and kind of let you be a little bit more choosy because it costs so much. But I wish it almost kind of, I almost wish it didn't do that. I mean, it makes sense why it does, but it's just kind of difficult because there's like certain things that I have now, certain weapons, certain items that I wished I could have used or I would love to use, but the thing is my skills, my skill points that I've put into don't really allow that so much. But I did, I got lucky with the whole, with my whole archer stuff because that's not my main build at all. Like, I'm more of a melee, but I did make sure to kind of, by the time I got into, Godric, I realized, I was like, okay, I do need to level this up before it's too late because I need to be able to shoot these arrows at people. And so that got pretty good. And so here, I'm kind of just trying to figure out where to go after defeating Godric. I mean, it's been a minute, this recording, it's been a minute after I defeated Godric, but I never tried to figure out where to go to like use his stuff that you're gifted. I know it does tell you in here at this part to visit the two fingers. And so I don't have that on recording, but what I did eventually do that. I wish I would have just recorded it because I don't know why I didn't. But I do in this video, in this footage, I do go around kind of searching for different stuff in the round table. I ended up not figuring out where to go in this, but I did later figure it out, and I got to activate it. But after we get out of here, after we talk to this person for a minute, we head off to Stormvale, and so we try to find our way to one of the towers to activate the item that Godric gave us, the Great Rune. And so the Great Rune, it's pretty interesting. I don't know much about it. I just know that a good example, the Great Rune to me is another good example. Or no, sorry, not the Great Rune. I'm thinking of the, so Godric's Remembrance. So that item there is what you show to the two fingers, or the woman next to the two fingers. And what makes sense about that to me, and kind of the point system, the skill system, is that there's specific items related to Godric that you can get if you give her if you like use your remembrance. And since I'm a new player, I just didn't know this stuff. But I used that, and then it turns out, some of the items that I could get, like Godric's big weapon, I would tell you, but I can't remember what weapon it was specifically. But I got his weapon. But the thing is, I needed more faith points than I had in it, because I really haven't put any points in faith. Like I said, my character is a melee, specifically put on strength and health. That's pretty much like the main things I've put on this character. And of course, since I've beat Godric, I've already been through Stormvale. I've already done this part, but here I am still fighting these guys because I hate them. They're so obnoxious. And they're not even that bad, but the thing is, it's just, I hate any sort of flying monsters in this game. They cause me pain, and they're terrible. But yeah, so eventually I figured out, how to use my remembrance, and I activated the Great Rune. But not before I searched all of Stormvale to find it, because I knew it was near Stormvale, but I couldn't exactly figure it out. And so I did the thing that some people wouldn't do, and I just watched a video to, guide me where to go from Stormvale Castle. And it was kind of difficult, really, because there are so many guys in Stormvale, and it is obnoxious how many different enemies around Stormvale there are. And so that's why half the time in the game, especially when there's big groups, I've taken from these different people leaving their notes to you. You know, just lead them out one at a time, because really and truly, Stormvale, and especially when I first came through here fighting Godric, I was a much lower level. So this area is very unforgiving to not only new players, but even my character at level 42 here. It's still unforgiving. Not so much fighting this guardsman. Originally fighting him was absolutely evil. I could not fight this man, not even a little bit. He would almost instantly always kill me with his little like dash move, and then he kind of has a move like Godric, really, with his like what is it, a wind move, where there's like wind and it backs you up. He does the same thing at times, and that move is very evil. You just want to stay away from the man in general, and that's another thing I had to learn. But I think it's kind of interesting that they put that mechanic in for Godric and his guards. I think that's actually really cool. It's a level of detail that you don't always see in games, really. And I mean, every game has its mechanics that you have to learn, but this one has really, like, just what little I've played of this game so far, not even the DLC, just the main game 2 years later. I've learned a lot about it, and sometimes I take breaks, and sometimes I come back to the game, and I really and truly I am enjoying it. Although some people will call it a painful game, and it's painful, but it's oddly really rewarding. And so, like I said in my first video, there's so much to this game that really doesn't even meet the eye for me for the first few times I've really checked things out. And I mean, I also think about like how many hours some people have into one character just to make their character good enough to defeat things, certain people, certain different stuff. And it's like, dude, I think on Steam I have maybe 40 something hours, maybe. Actually, I might have 40 hours in this game. I could check real quick. But you see, the thing is, like, as I'm experiencing it and as I'm getting, a little bit more better at the game, I almost wonder if this skill won't translate back to my Dark Souls 3 days. I somehow doubt it, though, because I played it only on a PlayStation 4, and I played Elden Ring on PC, of course, and I just don't think I can handle going back to my PlayStation with that one. Okay, so I have 61 hours in Elden Ring so far, and I've seen some people where they have like 1,000 hours. I've seen people where they have lots of hours in one character, and it's very impressive. But you really need to press in those hours, from what I hear from the community. As far as when you're trying to get your character to be better, and there's really a lot of game to be had. Now, I have seen videos that are like, oh, here's me defeating all of Elden Ring in 6 hours, in 12 hours. I'm like, man, that's cool and all, but, I want to enjoy the game and its longevity. I don't want to speedrun it, Like, I want to enjoy what I'm doing, take a step back, do these NPC missions, do different stuff and explore. I don't want to always just gun-ho main story, main quest, because, and I mean, to be fair, half the time you really don't know what main quest always is. I mean, it's kind of, like, you kind of understand, but I have a feeling there's going to be points in the game where I'm really not going to know, and it's just going to be like that for a while. There's also, like, a big pot man I know that's allegedly going to some sort of festival, and that's like a side quest, I'm sure, and I would love to go explore that. There's lots of different things. And speaking of pot men, in this footage here, I find little pot dudes at Godric's area, and then I'm blasted by the gang of pot men, and they try to murder me. They're like, "What's up, guys? I'm pot man." Anyways, they do a little attacking on me. But this is my point, though, with Godric's Castle, and especially for me as a newer player. going here, especially at the level I was originally, I did not explore this place. I went to Godric, fought him for a while, murdered him, and I ran out. I did not continue to explore. I did not do any of that. I did not want to do any of that. And here I kind of break the little pots of happiness and they get mad at me, which makes me sad. I could have been friends with them. But anyways, this is kind of just, you know, me showing you a little bit of what my experience has been like so far after the first video. What it's been like for me to kind of grow when it comes to playing, and taking your guys' advice in the comments to how to, I guess, how to get better, and just some of these mechanics that I was doing that were so, not so wrong, but they were hindering my process and hindering my ability to play good. So I thank you guys for watching these Elden Ring these playthrough-ish videos. They're not really playthrough, but they're more like a commentary of how I am and where I'm going with the game. Thank you for the people that actually commented and gave me some tips on it, because I genuinely appreciate it. I would have had no clue otherwise, because I've even watched videos, and you know, even like most of these videos expect you to know some of that stuff, I guess, because even the videos I watched didn't tell me that stuff, so I really, really, really appreciate it. Anyways, so yeah, if you enjoy these videos of Elden Ring or anything else I do, just check them out. Give them a little watch, and if you have any more tips or more interesting things to tell me in the comments, if you want to, you can just hit me up with that, and I'll, you know, do a follow-up on them. But anyways, guys, I'll see you dudes. See you in the next one.